Well, hello, my fellow weebs. I am what we call an old otaku, which means that I have been watching anime longer than many of you watching this video have been alive. And as such, I am making a wonderful award-winning web series called My Otaku Twin Sister, which is basically an autobiography of my cringy teenage years as a weeb. And the last episode featured some self-inclusion Ava fanfiction. Now, I did not write Ava fanfiction specifically as a teenager, but I did write other fanfiction, and I thought I would share some cringy fanfiction that I wrote today. No, I didn't write the fanfiction today. I am sharing it today. I wrote it like 25 years ago? Math. 23 years ago. 23 years ago. So it's been years and years since I last read this wonderful fanfic that I wrote. So let's enjoy it together now. Tomo's Tale, Part 1. Ooh, it's a Part 1. Oh wait, I have to make the font big because I'm blind. I said Control D, you fucktard. What's wrong with you? What the fuck? Okay, let's try opening you again. Protected view? I don't need protected view. I don't care. Okay, well let's make the font bigger here. Oh, so Tomo, if you don't know, is a character from Fushigi Yuugi, which is the best isekai harem anime out there. But as I recall, this is a crossover fanfic, so it involves other anime that I was into at the time. All right, here we go. Tomo's Tale, Part 1 by 16-year-old Sarah. Step right up, Tomohome called out. Come one, come all, to our very first guy auction. Oh, this is in brackets. It's like stage directions. Wild applause and organ music, end bracket. Thank you, Tomohome said as the crowd settled down. Now, today we have some lovely stud muffins for sale for one night. My pal Chichiri will introduce our fine specimens. He indicated Chichiri in a sparkling blue tux. Pleased to be here, Nanoda. He said with a bow. Okay, so I have to, side note here. For those of you not in the know, Chichiri, he's like a weird, quirky character with blue hair from Fushigi Yuugi, and he has this speech quirk where he ends like most of his sentences with noda or nanoda, depending on grammar, right? This was the golden age of VHS amateur fan subs. And for those of you who don't know, you know, the Fushigi Yuugi fan subs were actually pretty good, but they still left in a lot of these like otakuisms of like leaving in a lot of just straight up Japanese in the subtitles. And yeah, Noda, like the subs at the time, they were like, oh, it doesn't really mean anything, and we're just gonna put it in there to indicate that it's his quirky speech pattern. How silly. And it actually took off. Like Fushigi Yuugi fans, there was the Noda mission where you were supposed to like write Noda and hiragana on your chalkboard or your blackboard in high school because we didn't have smart classrooms back then and we wrote on whiteboards or chalkboards all the time. Yeah, it was a meme before memes were really a thing, but that was a horrible translation. They should not have left Noda in there as is. It does actually mean something. It's just kind of a weird, like archaic version of desu at the end of your sentence. But anyway, it made it into my fanfic because it was that memeable. Pleased to be here, Nanoda, he said with a bow. The proceeds of this event will go to the fund for making me rich. Oh, this is Tomohome again. The proceeds from this event will go to the fund for making me rich, so bid high, ladies, bid high. Now, are you ready to meet our first hunk? Screams rang from the auditorium. Well then, take it away, Chichiri. Chichiri opened his mouth to speak. But first, a song. Tomohome took center stage and began to sing his famous Aito Yuna no Tatakai ni song, but he got no further than the first now before the Sailor Senshi in the audience performed their various attacks back at him. Okay, we have Sailor Moon in here now. Fire Soul! Mars shouted as she hurled a fireball at the poor host. Geez, he complained, rubbing his singed head. You're worse than Taski-kun. Oh, I left in the kun honorific, because of course I did. Now, several noisy complaints in brackets. Hey, I wasn't singing, let me finish, ow! Right, his song begins with the word now in English, like at the beginning of every line. Ow! A big hammer came from backstage and clobbered Tomohome on the head. A sweet, innocent, black-haired girl with a Wait, black-haired... Is that the right spelling of haired? I always get that wrong. It's like H-A-R-E-D. Is it that, or is it H-A-I-R-E-D? I always have to look that up. Anyway, maybe it's a black, like, she has black hairs, like black rabbits all over her. Anyway, an innocent black-haired girl with a circle on her forehead smiled shyly from the wings. Ooh, that's Skurudo. I actually have a UFO catcher doll of her. Oh wait, here she is. She's actually in the shot. Wow, what a concept. This is Skurudo. This is actually well, it might be a bootleg, I don't know. I did not make this one. I made this Bell Dandy because I couldn't find, they had official Urudo. So anyway, I was a big fan of Amegami-sama, or Oh My Goddess, without having seen a single episode of it until much later. What happened was I saw like just the artwork of Oh My Goddess whenever I would shop for Sailor Moon stuff or Fushigi Yuugi stuff in Chinatown in San Francisco, and I'd see the artwork of Oh My Goddess, and I'm like, oh my god, that's this beautiful artwork, and so I like bought all the soundtracks and like all the songs and stuff, and I was super into the music, and I had decks of playing cards, but I hadn't seen like the anime, and it was this like 5-part OVA series, and it was only available like on Laserdisc or whatever, and it's like I don't have a Laserdisc player. It was like $50 per like episode. It was hard back then, you guys. We couldn't just stream stuff for free on Crunchyroll. Anyway, I think at this point I had seen Oh My Goddess finally. I watched it while I was visiting friends in Japan. Anyway, Schooled has Schooled? It's so weird. I always thought of it as Scold, but I think it's Schooled, Skurudo. Anyway, a sweet, innocent, black-haired girl with a circle on her forehead smiled slyly from the wings. That's Schooled. Arigato no da, Skurudo. Any random Japanese in here. Arigato no da, Schooled. Chichiri thanked the owner of the hammer. Now, our first man, no da, is quite a specialty. He's tall, he's strong, and boy is he handsome, no da. Give a big warm welcome, no da, to Mitsukake. So this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like this Japaneseism of no da, like you wouldn't have it in the middle of a sentence like that. You wouldn't be like, give a big warm welcome, no da, to Mitsukake. You wouldn't do that. Like, it would only be at the very end of the sentence. But being a young weeb who did not understand Japanese at this point, I'm just like, I'm just gonna throw no das in everywhere because it's a meme. Anyway, give a big warm welcome, no da, to Mitsukake. Brackets, trumpet, fanfare, and brackets, the crowd, colon. Ooh, this is so much like a script. I didn't know if this was a script or a short story or a novel. Anyway, now Mitsukake-san, Chichiri began. Oh, san, now we have the san, so I'm including all of the suffixes in here. How are you doing today, Nanoda? Mitsukake smiled. That's nice, Noda. Been healing any sick people lately, Noda? Mitsukake nodded. Please give us a brief explanation of yourself, Noda. Mitsukake smiled. Chichiri leaned over and whispered in Mitsukake's ear, What's the matter, Noda? Tama got your tongue? Oh, Tama is Mitsukake's cat. So, cat got your tongue? Ah ha ha, that's so funny. Mitsukake whispered back, No, it's just that they don't want to pay Ishikoji for saying lines. Oh, right, yeah, because Mitsukake like barely speaks in any of the episodes. And we're all sort of like, why doesn't he speak in any of the episodes? And then we had this running theory like, maybe his voice actor's really expensive. And they're like, I mean, really just the character doesn't say much. He's a soft-spoken, strong silent type character. And he's a healer too. That's why they were talking about healing people. Anyway. Wakatta no da. Ooh, more Japanese. That means, I get it. I understand. Chichiri, I think I had like 1 year of high school Japanese at this point, so I guess I did know some Japanese. Chichiri answered with a wink. So, Nanoda, let's start the bidding. Chichiri began to talk in a very fast voice, taking bids here and there until he finally sold to a young woman, cat up front. Congratulations, Luna, Chichiri called the black cat up to the stage. So Luna from Sailor Moon, Usagi's cat. You've won Mitsukake-san, Nanoda. Wow, so much weird non-Japanese. Brackets, applause, and brackets. We know you're just doing this to get closer to Tama, Usagi whispered in her cat's ear. Urusai! Luna swatted Usagi's nose and proceeded to ride happily on Mitsukake's shoulder while making flirtatious glances at Tama on Mitsukake's other shoulder. Chichiri smiled at the happy trio and went back to the microphone. And no, Nanoda. Typo. That's supposed to be and now, Nanoda. Next up was supposed to be Hotohori-sama, but I'm afraid he had to stay behind today and rule Conan. Various loud and vulgar complaints, in brackets. Right, this is another sort of running gag my friends and I had. We were complaining every time Hotohori was left out of a story arc to stay behind and rule his damn country, we'd say. It's like he was the emperor. Of course he had to stay behind and rule his damn country. But he was beautiful and a bishonen, and we wanted him in every scene. And so we were always bitter when they left him out. Various loud and vulgar complaints, in brackets. Hey, gomen no da. That means sorry, Noda. But Hotohori-sama is a very busy man. Tomatoes, carrots, and various other vegetables were being thrown onto the stage. Hey, yamenasai, Noda. Wow, I just threw in every Japanese phrase I knew. Chichiri commanded. The crowd was still. Now, who is going to clean up this mess, Noda? Deep submerge! Someone yelled as a tidal wave swept across the stage. Chichiri rang out his cape. Thank you, Sailor Neptune, he said with a hint of sarcasm in his voice. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sailor Neptune, he said with a hint of sarcasm in his voice. So, next up, Noda, is a fine, fine man, Ranma. Oh, Ranma 1/2 makes an appearance. Actually, I think, yeah, at this point, the only Ranma I had seen was like, we rented a Ranma 1/2 movie from our local Japanese video rental store, so it was not subbed or dubbed or anything, and we just watched it without understanding a word of it. That's how we consumed a lot of our anime back in the day. So, a fine, fine man, Ranma. Brackets, applause, ahs, and organ music. Welcome, Noda, Ranma-san. Ranma nodded. Let's start the bidding, Noda. While Chichiri was busily taking requests, Shampoo snuck on stage and dumped a bucket of cold water over Ranma. Instantly, his hair turned orange and he grew breasts. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Ranma 1/2, super famous anime from like I think the manga was 80s, anime was sort of 80s, 90s, but basically the main character Ranma is called Ranma 1/2 because he visits like a magic pond where if you bathe in it, like you become sort of like you can change into either a man or a woman. And so Ranma, if he gets doused in cold water, yeah, cold water, he turns into a woman. And then if she gets doused in hot water, she turns into a man again. So Shampoo, one of the other characters, just turned him into a girl. And his hair changes color too. Chichiri seemed exasperated. Now what did I tell you about changing into a girl like that, Noda? He demanded. Only freaks change into girls and back again. Hey, I was conservative when I wrote this, so this is actually kind of progressive for me in a twisted way. Chichiri was interrupted by some growling from the sailor starlights. Hey, haha, as Saturn's silence glaive dragged poor Ranma off stage. See, I was starting to come around. Chichiri nervously rattled his notes. Ahem, Noda, he coughed. Let's continue, Noda. Now, next up, he's not a sex changer, but he is a gay cross-dresser. Let's give a big warm welcome, Noda, for Nuriko. A richly dressed man with purple hair and a slightly vulgar hairstyle stepped on stage, flashing his mole and smiling. Okay, Nuriko, oh my. I've been thinking about making a video about this actually, like trans misrepresentation in shoujo, like over the years. It seems like, I mean, this is true of trans representation in like all media, not just anime, manga, or shoujo manga, or anime in particular, but like trans characters in the shoujo manga and anime that I watched in like the 90s, and so like they were always jokes, or like they're not really trans. And Nuriko, spoilers, sort of, he's a man, identifies as a man, but started living as a girl/woman when he lost his little sister whom he loved very much. So he was basically living as her, being confused. Yeah, a lot of interesting kind of problematic trope there. I mean, I don't think it's inherently problematic on its own. It just, in a way, it reinforces that misinformation that trans people are just like lost or troubled or they're just, it's a mental illness or whatever, when it's not. But anyway, and Nuriko, the slightly vulgar hairstyle, he often liked to have like 2 buns and then like a long braid in his hair. So, you know, yeah. So a richly dressed man with purple hair and a slightly vulgar hairstyle stepped on stage, flashing his mole and smiling. Does anyone want a little interest in their life, Noda? There was silence for a while until someone spoke up in a deep voice. I'll take him. Why, Haruka-san, Chichiri exclaimed. I thought you only went for girls, Noda. Haruka grinned slyly. Oh, so this is Sailor Uranus from Sailor Moon, by the way, for those of you who don't know Sailor Moon. And if you don't know Sailor Moon, you should fix that. Haruka grinned slyly. Yeah, but he's close enough. She walked onto the stage to claim her prize. Nuriko was starry-eyed. But Nuriko-chan, Saturn whispered from the wings, I thought you went for guys. Yeah, but she's close enough, Nuriko exclaimed. Oh, and Nuriko also isn't like gay or straight or bi either. Like that's also kind of up in the air. Anyway, he flung his arms around Haruka and they walked off stage. The crowd was stunned. Chichiri scratched his chin. Noda, a gay crossdresser and a lesbian crossdresser. They're not exactly cross-dressers. Anyway, see, it's like that's what a lot of it was overly simplified to. I mean, it might still be, like, I haven't read any, like, recent shoujo manga, but anyway. He was interrupted from his thoughts by a psst from offstage. Next man, no da, a sharp dresser with bright orange hair. Oh, okay, here's my crush. Okay. Fangs and trench coat sauntered onto the stage. Tusky-kun. It took an awful lot of no da-ing to quiet the crowd when they saw him. Because, of course, actually, Tusky was, I'd say, probably the most popular character from Fushigi Yuugi. At least in terms of like girls fangirling over guy characters in the series. I'd say Tusky was probably the top. Chichiri was probably second most popular, at least at the time. Tusky got close to Chichiri and whispered into his ear, "So when the hell do I get my money?" he asked. "Later, Noda. I hope you're not expecting me to sing in front of a bunch of silly females for free." "Relax, Noda. I'm just going to introduce you first, Noda." "Well, shit, hurry up. I don't like the looks on their faces." Chichiri laughed to himself. "Now, Noda, let me present..." "Oh, look, he's so cute. He looks just like my old senpai." That had to be Sailor Jupiter saying that. "Why did I choose to be Seiryu no Miko?" Ah, that was Yui, probably referencing that if she were Suzaku no Miko, she would be with Tusky, but she's Seiryu no Miko, so she's Tusky's enemy. "What did I see in Nakago? He's so much better than Tuxedo Kamen. What a pretty boy. I've been so blind. Oh, chibi chibi." So if you haven't seen Sailor Stars, there's this character like Chibi Chibi, and that's all she ever says is Chibi Chibi. And like often you'll have like character says line, character says line, character says line, and then she'll go Chibi Chibi. "After him, girls," Tusky no Miko called, as about 2/3 of the audience left their seats and headed for the stage. So Tusky no Miko, OG anime I almost said YouTuber. YouTube did not exist back then. Websiter, person with website. She translated like all the manga, like fan translated it, and not even scanlations, not with like the text in the speech bubbles, but like just transcripts. It was much harder to like actually photo manipulate things back then. Yeah, and she was like a very prominent like Tusky fan on the net. "Shit, what the hell is going on, Chichiri?" Chichiri smiled. "Ah, damn it!" Tusky grabbed his magic papers. "Ideo Okami!" I knew his little thing that he'd yell when he so he summons wolves. Ideo means like come forth, come out. It's not like normal conversational Japanese. Okami is wolves, and he would throw these papers and they'd turn into wolves. He cried desperately. The pieces of paper poofed into a bunch of UFO catcher Tusky dolls. "Shit," he cried, "what asshole fucking bitch has been changing my cards into damn dolls of me? Who the hell are you? Speak up, bastard." So this is another fun tidbit for those of you who were not around during the golden age of VHS fan subs. Fan translations, like, because they were often done by young people for young people, like, young people are so obsessed with profanity and like, haha, he said fuck, that's funny. So, like, older fan subs tend to just be littered with a lot of profanity, and Tusky became known as sort of like the guy with a potty mouth. I remember when I learned Japanese and then like read through the manga in Japanese, actually understanding it in Japanese and watching the anime, I actually was kind of surprised to find that Tusky's not exactly a potty mouth. Like, he's kind of brash and like rude and stuff. Tamahome actually like legit cursed more than Tusky did. Yeah, but Tusky just had this reputation as like being a potty mouth or whatever. And then in the official translations that came out pretty soon after I wrote this, it got picked up for commercial release and it was officially translated. And then like Tusky's character wasn't swearing as much because the translations were frankly a little bit better. And I remember people asking Watase Yu, the creator, at a panel, like, "Oh, how do you feel about the censorship in anime and how like the Tusky swearing was taken out?" And she's like, "How do you even know that this is happening if you don't understand Japanese?" And like that was kind of one of my first aha little connection moments where it's like, maybe everything that I thought I knew about Japanese and translation is wrong. Anyway, so Tusky swears a lot in this fanfic because he swore a lot in the fan sub. Chichiri leaned into the audience and said in a stage whisper, "Only he could fit every swear word into one line, no da." So at least I at least intuitively recognize the ridiculousness of some of the profanity in his in his dialogue in the fan sub. Miyaka giggled, form the wings. Ah, it was you! Damn you! Tusky cursed as he tried in vain to escape the crowd of drooling females. There's one last chance, he thought. The Tessen! Oh, that's his iron fan. It's a weapon. He pulled it off his back. Lekka shit! Oh, his incantation is lekka shien. And so I did lekka shit. Clever pun that I did. What the fuck is this? A flute? Amiboshi, who was holding the real Tessen in his hand, waved at Tusky from the front row. Damn you, Amiboshi, you little shit-ass! Tusky cried as I didn't even use profanity. Like, this was kind of an outlet for me. Like, I could count on one hand the number of times I had cursed, like, by the time I was 16. And then, like, I was suddenly like, you know what, I'm gonna start cursing. And the floodgates opened, and then, like, everything was cursing. Anyway, Tusky cried as he was being dragged off stage by the screaming girls. Damn shit, fuck, damn it! And now, Noda, Chichiri said, smiling amidst the cries of protest from the last contestant, I have a special guest for you, Noda. His name is Nakago, but he's known to you and me as the asshole. I think that was also kind of a meme. Like, people would, the fans would call Nakago the asshole or an asshole. Even though, like, on subsequent rereads, I really like Nakago. Like, he's one of my favorite characters. But at the time, even though I kind of did like him, like, secretly, internally, I was like, oh, he's the bad guy. Nakago nervously walked onto the stage and was immediately bombarded with a chorus of boos from the remaining audience. Nakago looked distressed. Now come on, Noda, Chichiri begged. Doesn't anyone want the son of a bitch? No way! What the hell are you thinking? He's worse than my mother-in-law. It's a boomer joke. He doesn't even have a penis. This is just a joke, inside joke between me and my friends. So in the anime and manga, like, he and Soy, this other character, have sex a few times. Like, she uses her sex magic to make him more powerful. And in all of those scenes, he's always just passively lying there and she's on top of him. And, like, we didn't know how sex worked at that age. We didn't know that, like, the woman could be on top. So, like, we're like, oh, well, Soy must actually have the penis and Nakago doesn't have a penis. Yeah, we were really super educated. Anyway, he doesn't even have a penis. How much will you pay me to spend an evening with him? Chichiri sadly turned to Nakago. I'm sorry, Noda. No one seems to want you, Noda. The story of my life, Nakago whimpered as he burst into tears. That's so not Nakago. That was like the opposite of his personality. Pathetic, Nanoda, Chichiri thought to himself. Sailor Saturn, please take this man away, Noda. Saturn's glaive dragged the blubbering Nakago off stage. Well, I'm dreadfully sorry, Noda, but the rest of our eligible men aren't human. He turned and indicated Artemis, Pegasus, Ashtare, who's like a wolf man from Fushigi Yuugi, a giant panda from Ranma, Kumakichi. Oh wow, Kumakichi. Oh, Chou Kuse ni Narisou crossover. So that's an obscure anime from the 90s. Comment if you know what the hell I'm talking about. And Tusky's horse. So ladies, if you just, hey, wait a minute, what about you? Yeah, I was hoping you'd be for sale. Sorry girls, take your damn mask off, Chichiri-chan ordered, stepping onto the stage. Chichiri-chan, I think that was another just fan. We were on, so this is like before social media, before Reddit, before like just about everything really. There was email, there were some websites. There was the Fushigi Yuugi mailing list, the FYML. And like I was on that, like pretty much, I don't know, all in air quotes, question mark, Fushigi Yuugi fans were on that list. Many Fushigi Yuugi fans were on that list, and we all went by handles, not our real names, and somebody there went by Chichiri-chan. I think she had a website too. And Chichiri wears this mask, like he has a handsome face with an eye missing, but he wears this goofy looking mask all the time to hide that. So that's where like, take off your damn mask. Yeah, and your pants while you're at it. Saturn, some help please, Noda. Saturn said nothing but ripped his silly mask off with her glaive. A collective sigh arose from the crowd, and half the women fainted. Oh, he's so gorgeous. That scar is so sexy. Come on now, just take off your clothes. Ah, help, Noda. He. Oh, wow, Chichiri, I didn't know you had such a big knock. Brackets, silence, and brackets, gomen kudasai. Donata desu, I know what I'm doing here. Gomen kudasai, donata desu ka? It's the most handsome guy in the whole wide world who's thoroughly pissed off because he wasn't at the auction. Oh yes, I'm terribly sorry. Please come in. Arigato. Okay, so more layers of meta. Koji is Tusky's best friend from the series. They speak in Kansai-ben, and there's this like manzai routine where like one guy like does like a sort of knock knock joke kind of by himself. He'll be like, knock knock, who's there? A really handsome guy wanting to come in to talk to you. Oh, why thank you, please come in. And then it always ends with like Koji saying arigato, like thank you at the end. Anyway, immediately all the girls broke into the long time no see Koji speech that always ensues after this part in the anime. Brackets, the irresistible follow-up of that routine, end bracket, and began to dance arm in arm until, now Tomo, don't you think that's enough playing for today? Soy asked. Oh, it was all an illusion. Aw, come on, Soy, I'm just making a few little illusions for the internet users. So Tomo is a character who can create illusions in his Sheen clamshell. Now you know what I said about that. This is my webpage too, and you're using up too much space with this. How am I supposed to find room to put all those pics of me and Tasky snuggling online? If you'd let me make this illusion a little longer, you would have demonstrated them in the story, Tomo mumbled other If you'd let me make this illusion a little longer, you would have demonstrated them in the story, Tomo mumbled under his breath as he closed his Sheen and set it aside for another day. The end. Oh, there is a Tomo's Tale Part 2, but I don't think that I can handle the amazingness. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that trip down memory lane as much as I did, and I'll see you in my next video, maybe. Bye!